What do we got? Fasted 17 and a quarter. You can't fucking see that.
Everyone wants big arms. Nobody wants noodles hanging out of their sleeves, but is it genetics? Is it hard work? Is it a particular fancy exercise you saw on TikTok? Truth is, I think a lot of people are missing out on gains in their arms because they're training them differently than they're training other muscle groups. You will do a set of 5 on back squats, but you are afraid to do them with a set of curls. Why? I understand we've all seen the crazy bicep tear videos and things like that, but that is not indicative of what is going to happen if you train your biceps hard. In reality, your tendons and ligaments are more than capable of catching up if you progress in a timely fashion and you are not stupid. My biceps have personally seen tremendous growth this year by training them like I would any other muscle group. Same thing for triceps, no more drop sets, supersets, intensifiers. Those things might have use cases in a particular person's program, but in general, most of you don't really need them. Instead, we should be opting for simple, straightforward progressions with an emphasis on getting stronger over time with good technique. What does this look like in your program? Well, for everybody, I recommend at least hitting biceps and triceps twice a week. You should be aiming for anywhere from 5 to 10 sets per week, so that means anywhere from 3 to 5 sets per session. I prefer the 5 to 10 rep range. We know anything from 5 to 30 will build muscle, but you have to be mindful of fatigue, soreness, and unnecessary damage that you could be causing. Exercise selection. I'm gonna make it super simple for you. Pick an elbow flexing movement for your biceps, a elbow extension movement for your triceps. Try to pick stable variations, but also pick movements that you like doing, because if you don't like doing them, you are not going to do them. We see crazy variations on TikTok, Instagram, things like that. You can do them if you're gonna do them consistently, but if you're not gonna do them consistently, just go grab a set of dumbbells. Before I started training this way, I was scared shitless to touch a dumbbell for curls that was over 45 pounds. And my most recent PR is 64-10 on each side for dumbbell curls. I'm not saying this to flex, I'm just saying this to show you that these strength progressions matter. Strength and size are not divorced from each other. And by picking 1 or 2 exercises that you are consistent with, you can see these progressions week to week, month to month. And I promise you, if you see these progressions week to week, month to month, day after day, you're putting in the work, you are going to see the progress in the photos as well. People have a bad habit of treating these movements as accessories, as secondary, as like they don't matter. When in reality, you should be treating these sets with as much intensity as you would a heavy barbell back squat or a heavy deadlift set. This is what is going to make the difference in your training, not a superset, not a drop set, not a crazy convoluted TikTok exercise that you saw. Because you need to realize you are not chasing a pump. You are not chasing how veiny you can get in one session. You are chasing tension. You are chasing stimulus. You need to do the type of training that gives your muscles a reason to grow. It's not always glamorous, it's not always exciting and fun, but in reality, that's the reality of strength training. And that's what most people miss. That's why most people give up. You're not going to add 6 inches to your arms in 4 weeks. But I promise you, if you take the time to just stack the days, again, enjoy your training, and you let the months and years build off of one another, you will see the progressions that you were dying to see. Another few quick tips. This goes for any muscle group you are trying to prioritize. Train them first in your session. Yes, you can train biceps before you train back. It is not going to make a massive difference in your back training. Yes, you are using your biceps when you use back. Yes, you are training your triceps when you do some pressing movements. But again, what is our priorities here? We are prioritizing arms. If we want bigger arms, then some things will have to be pushed back. Some things may have to go on the back burner. That's normal. Again, that is the reality of strength training. You're fresh in the beginning of a session, when you're fresh in the beginning of the week, those are the movements that you should be doing that you want to prioritize. If you're more fresh, you have more potential force output, which means more stimulus, which means more growth. Stop putting yourself in a box and confining yourself to just the standard stock photo modalities of training. You can do whatever the hell you want. Experiment, have fun with it, get creative, stay within best practices, and just push yourself in every session. I don't want to be super technical with this video because that's not the point of this video. I just want you to get out of your head when it comes to thinking about training. Stop overanalyzing. I promise you, you're not missing out. I've been doing this for 11 years and I've gone through the phases of, oh, I'm going to hop on this new exercise trend, I'm going to hop on this trend and this and that. Things have been pretty well documented in the world of strength and hypertrophy, so we know best practices. I'm not saying you have to keep it so simple and so rigid and so boring, but I am saying sometimes the basics just fucking work. It's super easy for me to sit here and say, get strong, because get strong has an asterisk next to it with a bunch of little things you also have to nail. What are these little things? In order to get strong, you have to be mindful of fatigue. If fatigue is bleeding into your next session, you cannot progress. How do we minimize fatigue? We don't overdo our volume, we don't overdo our reps, we don't do redundant exercises, and we take good care of ourselves outside of the gym. Getting enough protein and carbohydrates, and getting enough sleep. Spacing sessions out adequately. You should not be hitting biceps and triceps 2-3 days in a row. Give yourself at least a day to let those adaptations sink in. You also must standardize your technique. If you are not standardizing your technique, you are not truly getting stronger. If the first week you did dumbbell curls, you did them with excellent technique, minimal swinging, and then the next week you added 10 pounds and now you're flying all over the place like an idiot, that's not progressive overload. That's not strength training. Getting stronger does also not mean progressing every single session. Will you in the beginning? Of course you will. Sometimes on these smaller muscle groups, biceps, triceps, delts, the progressions look a little bit different. You might be stuck on a particular way for a while. It doesn't mean you've plateaued. It can take a little longer to progress on these smaller muscle groups, so we have to look at wins outside of just reps and weight. Better technique, more controlled technique, pauses at the bottom, things like that. Things that show that we have a mastery of this weight, that we are getting stronger in one way or another. You're not just going to continuously add 5 pounds every week forever. If that was the case, I'd be dumbbell curling 200 pounds in each arm. You have to fight tooth and nail for every single progression. Of course, these principles will mostly remain the same for every muscle group, but I wanted to highlight arms because it is a highly sought after muscle group that people want to grow. And I'm going to be posting a little bit more like this in this style under 10 minutes. Gives me a chance to actually explain myself and get a little bit more technical. If you enjoy this style of video, please let me know. I also do one-on-one coaching. You can DM me or check the link in my bio. Also, my push-pull legs upper lower split is live on Trainerize. It's $20 and you get lifetime access to some good programming. And I will see you in the next one.